Good morning everybody and welcome back to my channel. Go ahead and grab yourself some coffee because today we are going to be getting ready for work. So sit back, relax, and let's do our makeup. So I already washed and prepped my face, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with my moisturizing cream. I like using the CeraVe moisturizing cream. It's really good if you have acne prone skin, and I've been using it for the last few years, so it's definitely one of my favorites. And I just gently work that into my skin, making sure that my skin's nice and hydrated. Then after that, I go in with my Tarte Maracuja oil. I usually just use 1 drop of this to help keep my T-zone hydrated, because that's usually where I get a little bit more of some dry skin. And guys, it is early, it's 5:30. I have a really busy day today, and I am tired if you can't tell by the bags under my eyes. So I'm gonna just drink some coffee. It's the only thing keeping me going. After that, I use this Air Repair eye cream. I love using this under my eyes because sometimes my skin gets really dry under my eyes. So it helps make my concealer go on a lot better. I just realized I was doing all this without my light on, so now we're gonna resume with my light on. Now we're gonna move on to eyebrows. I like using my Benefit brow powder in the shade medium. Mine is so old. I don't even remember when I got it. Like, guys, that's gross. It's kind of embarrassing. I go in with my Benefit angled brow brush. I use the one that also has a spoolie on the end. That one's my favorite brush to use. I start off by just brushing out my eyebrows. And then I just start applying the powder. I use the powder to kind of get a rough idea of what I want my brows to look like. They usually end up looking pretty soft, and then after that I go back in with my Benefit brow pencil. But I start off by using my powder because I feel like it gives me more coverage and I get my brows filled in a little bit quicker. Oh, and I also pluck a few hairs, and that is painful. Not a fan. They say you get used to it, but I do not think you do. Then I just use this thin little brush to clean up any areas, which I'll show you what it looks like a little bit better later on. But it's just a cheap little brush that I got from Amazon. But yeah, I'm just using that powder to get a general idea of how I want my brows to look. And once I feel like they look good enough with the brow powder, I'll just go in with that little brush and clean it up a little bit more. And my little tip for doing your eyebrows is I actually like to use the tip of my tweezers to help move the product around a little bit. I know it's kind of weird, but sometimes the product gets built up and my tweezers just help me get the product where I need to go and get a more defined shape. But yeah, that's what that little brush looks like. It's really nothing special, it's super old. Any thin brush like that will do. Once I'm done with the powder, I go in with my Precisely My Brows Benefit brow pencil, and I use the shade 4. I've been using this product forever, absolutely love it. It is definitely my favorite brow pencil. And then I just go in into those little places that the powder didn't quite give a lot of pigment. And then I just make them a little bit darker. And then I'll just go back and forth with my tweezers again, blending out that product. I find whenever I use any kind of brow pencil, sometimes I do get that extra buildup in certain spots. I mean, because our skin isn't perfectly smooth. So using those tweezers just helps me spread that product out so that it gives me a nice even look. And I think they're coming along nicely. Ugh, but I gotta drink some more coffee because your girl is tired. I absolutely love this little blanket. I'm all cozied up with it. It's an UGG blanket that my best friend got me. Absolutely in love with it. I cuddle with that every morning. Yeah, this is how my brows are coming along. Not quite done with them yet, but they're nearly there. I take my brows so seriously. It's funny to look back and watch this and see how long I literally stare at just my eyebrows. Then I go on with my Tarte Amazonian Clay Concealer, and it's in the shade Fair Light. And my camera won't focus, but just trust me, it's shade Fair Light. I just use that same small, thin brush to go in and clean up the brows so that they can have a nice defined shape. Then I just do the same to the other brow until I feel like they are starting to look close enough to the same. I'm so bad at focusing on my eyebrows, literally. I am so determined to make them look like twins, and they usually always just look like sisters. Close enough for me, I guess. this will have to do. I don't think I can focus on my eyebrows anymore, so now I'm gonna move on, and just to set my work in place, I'm gonna use this Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I love this stuff. It helps keep my eyebrow hairs in place all day. And then I'm done with brows. So now I'm gonna move on to my concealer, and I just use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer under my eyes. This one's in the shade Fair Neutral. The doe foot always has way too much product on it. But yeah, I just dot one little dot on the inside and the outside of my eyeballs. That way I don't end up having too much product, because this concealer is pretty high coverage and I don't want my face to look too cakey. And then for the concealer that I use all over my face, I use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade 3.5. This is a nice lightweight concealer. It's what I use instead of doing foundation, because I don't like to have too much makeup on, especially now since we have to wear masks all day long at work. And I just use that concealer to spot conceal any of the blemishes on my face. And then I just blend it out with my sponge. And the sponge I'm using is the Morphe sponge. I believe it's the one that's partnered with Jaclyn Hill. I'm not super happy with how this concealer is covering that blemish, so I'm just going to go back over it and try to build up some of that coverage. Then I put some more paint on my forehead, and after I feel like I look super cool, I will blend that out with my beauty blender again. And I just dot a little bit of that concealer on my nose just to conceal some redness that I have. Apparently I was really into that look. I tried dotting a little bit more concealer over that blemish and it didn't work too well, so I'm gonna add a tiny bit more and try blending it out with my finger this time, because sometimes the sponge will take up a little bit more product, so you don't get quite as much coverage. I guess that'll have to do for now. Then I go in with Makeup Revolution Bake and Blot Powder in the shade Lace. I usually just use this with my beauty sponge under my eyes and in my T-zone. It just helps give me a little bit more coverage under my eyes. Then I'm gonna go in with my Airspun Extra Coverage Translucent Powder. If anyone has used this, you know that it smells so bad. It has such a strong smell. But I'm gonna use my same makeup sponge and just apply this all over my face. And then I apply a little bit extra powder on my blemishes just to help conceal them a little bit better, because I do find with this extra cover version of this powder, it does cover up your blemishes a little bit better if you let it sit there for about a minute or two. And then I will just blend it away. Blend, 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 blend. And then we move on to bronzer. I use the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula with this nice big fluffy brush. And then I just contour my cheekbones and the tip of my nose, and then around my jawline, and then I also bring it up onto my forehead. And then I also put a little bit all over my face just so I don't look too ghostly pale, because your girl needs some sunshine. Then I go in with my old crusty eyelash curler and curl my eyelashes. Guys, don't look too close because, ew. It's kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. And then I go in with my Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara, which was apparently really hard to open this morning. I like to get the extra product off the tip just so I don't get any unnecessary clumps. Oh, I'm just so cute when I apply my mascara. Oh. Then I go in with Roller Lash Mascara from Benefit. I like using two mascaras because the other one makes them nice and dark and voluminous, and this one helps make them look a little bit longer. And it also helps get some of the clumps out from that other mascara because it is kind of clumpy. And this is what my eyelashes are looking like. Oh, and also I like to use my tweezers to help get some of the clumps out and separate my lashes. But kids, do not do this at home. It is dangerous and I do not recommend it unless you are 100% confident, but even then it's still risky. I just do it because apparently I don't care if I blind myself, so be careful and do not try this. Don't say I didn't warn you. Then I go in with a Q-tip and clean up the mascara that I got on my eyelids because I suck at applying a mascara and I always get it on my eyelids. Then I go back in with my bronzer and a nice fluffy brush, and I just apply it to my eyelids. This just helps give my eyes some depth without having to do too much, but it also makes it look like I tried a little bit more. Then I go back in with a fluffier brush and I just blend out those edges so I don't have any harsh lines, and so that it looks nice and natural. But yeah, that's pretty much the finished look. Super natural, easy makeup that I like to do for work. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!